City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.3 megahertz. River City Arc's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any stations wishing to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec.
All right, I got Bob, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is KP4MD, and we have Craig WP2N on live chat on YouTube.
All right, very good. Thank you, Carol. That's Carol KP4MD, and giving out a welcome to Craig.
November 6, Hotel Alpha, Bill in Roseville.
All right, I got Bill, November 6, Hotel Alpha. Welcome, Bill. Good to have you. Anybody else?
Kilo India 6, Hotel Foxtrot Papa, Chris here in Sacramento.
Hello, Chris. Kilo India 6, Hotel Foxtrot Papa. Good to have you. Anybody else? Excuse me, Kilo India 6, Hotel Foxtrot Papa. That was Greg. I'm sorry.
The name here is Chris, Kilo Romeo India Sierra.
All right, Chris, thank you. I don't know where I got Greg from. Pardon me. Anybody else wants to check in? Okay, there's kind of a handful of us. I hate to say I have to do everything from YouTube tonight. Somehow my video codec drivers vanished off my machine, so I'm not going to mess with that now. But that won't keep me from commenting. So I just won't be able to send a message tonight or a picture tonight. So this is Bill, K6KRQ. We're going to start at the top with Bob in northmost Roseville. He's N6PGQ. If you're ready, go ahead, Bob.
Well, I think it's the evening for everything to fall apart. Somehow my desktop computer won't talk to my signal link. It can't find the USB connection. So I plugged it into my laptop, and we'll see if it works. First, I'm going to send a tone, see if that part works.
I got a tone. It was scratchy, but let's see what happens.
Okay, well, it may not be set up properly, so we'll give it a shot. This is, what am I going to do? PD120, I think, so let's try it.
right, Bob. Well, you got a picture through, so that's a plus. You know what? Mine it was. I used my same laptop last night and was running my Nano VNA on it, and that's the only thing I've done different. And like my drivers disappeared, where the drivers are shows something else. So that's okay. I'll get it fixed. But for right now, first I'm gonna maybe steal some of Carol's thunder. I want to welcome Ken March. He says, "Good evening, everyone. I'm slowly getting my radio set up. Got my antenna set up, but the radio isn't set up yet." Ken, KF6AGM. Well, that's good. When you get it set up, be sure to check in and participate with us. We'd be more than glad to have you. So that said, this is Bill, K6KRQ. I'm going to go to Carol for first comment on Bob's picture. Carol's KP4MD. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. Very good evening to Ken also. And Bob, yeah, you're. I'm thankful that you were able to get a picture through. The modulation level was just a little lower than usual, and usually have a really solid, strong signal into the repeater, but it sounds, your signal sounds a little scratchy, as if the maybe your power level is down or something, and the modulation was a little low, but we did get to see the picture there. You can see it on YouTube. I have maybe about 40% pixel pops there. It's just a lot of pixel pops. There's a ID band across the just to 1/3 of the way down from the top, and this looks like a roundabout. And in the center of the roundabout, there's a looks like one of those analog clocks, and I can't really make out if there's a separate support for that. It looks like it's like floating in the top of that tree. But those analog clock faces, I believe that's something that millennials have trouble reading because they're all used to seeing everything digital. I'm going to take a guess that this you took down there at the Desert Garden yesterday. I'm just guessing that you took this picture while you were doing the special event station at the Capitol Park. So back to Net Controls, KP4MD.
Good commentary and a good guess. I was thinking something different, but I'll hold off. Let's go to Bill in Roseville also, November 6th, Hotel Alpha.
Yeah, I agree with what Carol said. A little scratchy copy. It sounds like maybe you're 4 feet away from the microphone, but yeah, your drive level is pretty low on the audio, and the ID got you too. So yeah, it looks like a roundabout. I don't know if that's here, because we like to build roundabouts, but then not use them. Over there in North Highlands, they have roundabouts, but they gave up and added stop signs. So it's a 4-way stop with a roundabout in the middle, which is weird. So yeah, I wonder if this is down in Sacramento, like Carol's saying, where you were doing the Capitol Mall thing. So this doesn't look familiar, but it's a pretty neat clock in the middle there. And yeah, nice roundabout. And N6HA.
All right, thank you, Bill. Good commentary and another good guess. The more I hear, the more I think my guess is going to be wrong. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP. Tell us how you got the picture and any observations on it.
Yes, I did get the picture, but I'm trying to get my station set up here, and I clicked off and clicked back, and I lost it. I do remember seeing it. It was a roundabout with probably one of the coolest looking clocks I've seen in the center of it, but I can't stare at it now, so that's all I have for comment on that, unfortunately. I do apologize.
Oh, that's quite all right. I'm glad you got to take a look at it anyway. I was going to guess, my quick comment here before we go to Bob, I was going to guess it was somewhere in Roseville, but it's not sounding like it now. A comment on those analog clocks, I think they're gorgeous. Most of them seem to be like non-functional, though, that I see. I drove by one on the way to our class last night over at the temple, and there's one on Arden and Del Paso Road, or Del Paso Boulevard it is on this side, and it's not functioning, but it's a gorgeous clock. Anyway, that said, let's go to Bob, N6PGQ, for a description of his picture.
I have to preface this with, I hate roundabouts. Nobody follows the rules. They don't give a yield to the person that's in the roundabout. They just kind of crash in, and I think they cause more accidents, or could cause more accidents, than an intersection with stop signs. Anyway, one of the other reasons I don't like them is because most of the time they don't hide the headlights at night, and you can't tell that it's a roundabout until you've almost crashed into it. Let me drop this. So, I'm sorry about the picture quality, but you can see that there are houses behind it, so that's probably not going to be near where we were at the state capitol. As a matter of fact, this roundabout is right by the Lincoln Post Office, just before you get into the Old Town area of Lincoln. So it's one of the nicer looking roundabouts that I know of, and the clock is functional, and I can tell the time. N6PGQ.
Thanks for that. Good picture and good commentary on your own picture. You know, that's a good point there about the headlights. That could be a problem, you know, but I thought that the whole motivation for these was to cut down on the accidents. But I've read things about people just going the wrong way on them because somebody was in their way and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the idea is good. Maybe the practicality of it, not so much. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Before Carol, KP4MD is going to be next, but before we go to Carol, I'm going to call to see if we have anybody else that would like to check in. This is K6KRQ Bill in Natomas, calling for any other check-ins. All right, none heard, so let's go, as I said, to Carol, KP4MD, and see what she has for us tonight. Go ahead when ready, Carol.
Be PD 120.
right. That one came through really good, at least on YouTube, where I'm looking at it. And that Carol's transmission was noticeably more robust than Bob's, so I don't know what's going on there. So let's see if this is going to be a conversation starter. By the way, people on YouTube can do this now because I'm watching it. If you got any, feel free to comment on any pictures, and Carol or I will read them off. So that being said, I'm going to take it up to Bob, N6PGQ, for first comment on this one. Go ahead, Bob.
First and having to figure out what things are. But we've got a perf board at the top, and quality's pretty good. A few pixel pops. I can see how my picture looked. Yuck. Anyway, I don't know exactly what this thing is. We've got what looks like a rectangular brown circuit plugged in, and it looks like there's a BNC on the end of it. My quality here on my laptop is not good. And then the wires that go from the perf board go to another device below it, and below the letter P is something that I don't know, might be a video output or something like that, but it's going to be interesting to hear what it is. Quality's quite good. I just can't see it real well. N6PGQ.
Good commentary. I, too, am curious about the blue device, but we're going to go to Bill, N6HA. He's tech savvy. Let's see what he has to say about it. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, very interesting photo. I was kind of confused at first because it's hard following all the wires at this angle, but it came over pretty well. I do have a tear about halfway down through the what I think is a Raspberry Pi. So I think that is a Raspberry Pi in an acrylic case with the I/O board, and 2 pins of it are brought out with a red and blue wire to that to the prototype board, and then looks like there's some kind of capacitor plugged in, but it doesn't. I can't really make out where it's plugged in at. So I do see the BNC connector with some kind of, I think that's a capacitor maybe, right after it. That there's like a yellow square into a strip board with 2 wires, which I assume are attached to pins. So yeah, it looks like maybe Carol's playing around with like a radio berry or something like that, because there is software to be able to generate signals from the I/O pins of a Raspberry Pi. I've never played with it, but there's some cool tools to do that. So yeah, real interesting. I wonder if you're able to get inductance from the proto board to be able to get an LC network to make sure you're not being out of compliance. So yeah, I want to hear what this is. N6HA.
Thanks, Bill. That piques my interest even more. Let's see if Chris, KI6HFP, got the picture, and if so, let's hear your commentary on it.
Well, the most relevant commentary I have is I strive to have my images come through that clean. That looks good. It's almost text. It looks just like she sent it to me over text message. And I see the breadboard. I know that. My dad has about 1 million of those. I tried to send him a picture of it to bring, I call him my ringer, in to tell me what it is so I could comment on it. But it does look like a microcontroller. I'm not sure if that's a Raspberry Pi. It looks kind of small to be a Raspberry Pi. I'm not too sure. And it looks like, to me, the device that's connected to the breadboard hanging off the side almost looks like a knob, like a potentiometer or something like that to adjust some type of voltage or something like that.
All right, Chris, thank you. That was good observation also. Craig, watching on YouTube, posits the guess Arduino, ? So we're going to go to Carol and have her tell us about it, what she was doing, and of course, the results from it. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, very good. This is Kilo Papa for Mike Delta. Yeah, I see also a burned spy says a BNC. That's KI6HFP. Very good. Yeah, this is you were correct, Bill. This is a Raspberry Pi Zero 2W. This is one of the real low-end Raspberry Pis, and it's in an acrylic case that's kind of a bluish tint to it. And if you notice on the left side of the Raspberry Pi, you'll see the micro SD card plugged in the end there. That has the Raspbian OS. I think they call it Raspberry Pi OS Bookworm Lite. That's the OS that's in there. And the little connector on the bottom right of that board is the power. That's a micro. How do you call it? Micro. Gee whiz, I forget what they call those connectors. It's a micro USB, right? And that's carrying 5 volts to power the Raspberry Pi. And I'm running a program called RPi-TX, Raspberry Pi Transmit. And it is doing exactly that. It's generating radio frequencies. It'll go all the way, I believe, from 50 kilohertz all the way up to 1500 megahertz. It's amazing the range you can do it. And then the little program that you download, you can do testing with different types of modulation, narrowband FM, single sideband. See slow scan TV. It'll actually transmit slow scan TV, and let's see there's some other modes too, POC-SAG, and it's got some other digital free DV. You can do little test transmissions. What you have to do is load a wave file with the audio in there, and it does have a stereo FM with RDS with the secret text messages, and you can pick it up on a little FM radio. Yeah, the output is what's coming off the GPIO 4 pin there, and then the other pin that's coming off there is a ground. And all I'm using the breadboard for is to connect it to the little strip board that I wired. It's got a SMA connector. That's what that yellow thing is on the left. And then plugged into that is a little SMA to BNC adapter. It's only that ceramic disc capacitor is just to block the DC coming off of the pin. So it's just an RF through. And I'm only feeding this into dummy loads and doing some measurements with an oscilloscope. And just listening on a little receiver here. I have not put this thing on the air. But yes, I am planning to build up some low-pass filters on that breadboard, so when I do hook up an antenna to it, it won't be putting out a bunch of harmonics. Interesting, very interesting little experiment there. Having a lot of fun with this. Back to you, Net Control. It's KP for MD.
Thank you, Carol. That's a pretty potent package. That's a small package and small parts. Very intriguing. Thanks for sharing that. Again, I could just see it on.
Why is it keying up? Why is it keying up? Stop.
Our participant, Chris, KI6HFP. I just put that together.
N6NA.
We are going to go to Bill in Roseville, November 6th, Hotel Alpha, and see what he has for us. If you're ready, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I think I heard maybe George try to break in. There's a huge double there. Quick comment, though, Carol. That's a cool project. The CubeSat simulators that Alan and myself have use a similar setup with an Raspberry Pi, and actually an amplifier into a low-pass filter to do a lot of the RF-related things like slow scan when it sends out. So I'm might want to look into that project if you want some inspiration on how to get an amplified signal out of it. They're using it on 70 centimeters, though, not like 500 gigahertz like maybe you're planning to do. But yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Bill, to see if George is around. N6HA.
All right, thanks for that, Bill, and thanks for the heads up. So this is a call from Slow Scan TV Wednesday night for George, N6YG. If that's you and you're out there, come in.
Let's see if I have this, N6YG.
I got you that time loud and clear. Good to hear you, George. I'm adding you to the list.
Alrighty. I apologize. Every time I start up SSTV, it keys up the radio. Not sure why, but it's keying up the radio every time I start it. So typical Windows nonsense. I got to figure out what's going on. I'm going to go off frequency for a minute so I don't interrupt the net, so I can figure out why the software is just keying the radio up nonstop when I start it. And I'll be back, N6YG.
All right, very good. We'll be listening for you. We'll keep going in our order, and it's good to hear you. I haven't heard you in a while. Okay, so Bill, if you are ready, it's your turn. You're up. You may fire when ready.
Yeah, this is going to be PD120 and 6HA.
Very good. That one came through real good on YouTube. This is Bill, K6KRQ. Since gratefully George came along for commentary, I'll just do two of you folks, and then I'll just ask if anybody else has any additional. So, that being said, we're going to go to Carol first for commentary on this one. Carol's KP4MD, and go ahead when ready, Carol.
Okay, very good. This is KP4MD. A very good picture, maybe 5 or 6 pixel pops, very scattered, but otherwise very good solid colors. You can see it on YouTube. I see looks like a green spool of probably hookup wire, and looks like a 3D printed enclosure that's opened up on the right, and the one on the left looks like it's assembled. I see what looks like one of those 3.5 millimeter TRS jacks in the foreground there, and a little momentary push button switch next to it. This looks an awful familiar. It looks like one of those little microphone kits for the. It could be either used for the True SDX or for the QMX, where you put a little electret microphone in the end, and just wire it up, and then you. It's quite small, as you can see, and then you just use a 3-conductor jumper cable with the 3.5 millimeter TRS plugs on each end to plug it into your radio. That's what it looks like. I actually built one of those, so that's why it looks familiar to me. Back over to Net Control. It's KP4MD.
Thank you, Carol. That sounds like it's zeroing in on the target, if not hitting it. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP. What do you think, Chris?
Looks like it's above my knowledge level. I recognize the solder and the 3D printed enclosures, and after that I'm a bit lost. So I will just go with Carol's assumption. Back to you.
That's a safe choice. I'll take that choice too. Are there any other comments before I go to Carol? I meant before I go to Bill. Hold on a second, Bill. I thought I heard a tone. It might have been George sending it. Was that you, George?
I apologize. That was me. N6YG.
All right, I'm going to assume that means you're almost ready, but stand by. We're going to have Bill explain his photo here. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Carol got it exactly right. Figured someone recognized this. It's the K6ARK mini microphone. So yeah, my friend printed these for me. I think I need to get another 2 of these printed, but I might bug somebody else to do it. I need a bunch of friends with 3D printers, it turns out. But yeah, the one on the left is already assembled. That one's for a True SDX. And then I got a DigiKey ordered the other day. And the top right baggie with the 2 things in it there are the microphones you need for the QMX, which is they need to be really high gain, I guess, or I don't know. They're special. So I'm going to make up one of those, and I did buy a version 1 QMX Plus from somebody used, and I need to put that together, and I'll have a microphone now to be able to play with it to do single sideband, because I still don't know Morse code. So yeah, that's what's on the bench right now, and thought I'd share. I figured there'd be more pictures from the Nano VNA class, so I went with this, N6HA.
All right, thanks for that, Bill. One of these days I'm going to get one of them QRP labs things. I was inspired by that by Carol's presentation some months ago. So one of these days, they're really not that expensive. And one other comment, I didn't think about taking any pictures last night at the Nano VNA event, so I'll try to think of that next time. This is Bill, K6KRQ, Wednesday evening, River City Slow Scan TV Net. Before I go to Chris, I'm going to see if there's anybody else in the wings that would like to check in. If so, please come now.
K6SQY, Claygrass Valley.
Hey, Clay, good to have you. Let me have your call sign again. Forgive me.
Kilo 6, Sierra, Quebec, Yankee. Repeater was super scratchy. Am I getting into it okay?
Yeah, a little bit scratchy, but it's still probably worth a try transmitting when we get to you. You got a couple more guys. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm game for going for it. Might be a little noisy, but we'll give it a try.
That's it's okay. A couple of us seem to have had some demons and goblins tonight, so, but it's good to have you nevertheless, always. So that said, let's go to Chris, see how his hookup is, and see what he's got to show us. If you're ready, Chris, you may fire when ready.
All right, I'm going to send a quick... Everything's working. This is a relatively new setup, and if the tone keys up the radio, I will immediately unkey and send the picture. KI6HSP.
Chris, that one, you got that one through. Very good. You know what? I'm going to, for first comment, I'm going to kill a few birds with one stone here. I'm going to go to George, see if he's able to receive. B, get a comment. And C, I'll ask him if he's going to be able to transmit, because his turn's going to come up next after the commentary and explanation. So if you're there with us still, George, go ahead.
Well, Bill, good evening, and hello to everyone on the net. Sorry I haven't been around for a bit. Been really, really busy trying to get the property cleaned up and a lot of other things. So with that said, I definitely recognize this picture. It's Erickson, no, what is it, Cal 225 with on sailing under mainsail only. The jib is furled. I don't know if this is one of the pictures I took or if one of the pictures that Chris or Jenna took. I'm looking at that first reef point. You can see that first reef point up just a little bit. I love sailing. I spent most of my life on a boat. So with that, I'll send it back to it. And by the way, yeah, I'm ready to send a picture. I'm sorry for keying up on everybody. Every time I started MMS TV, it would key my rig. And that's kind of, you know, I'm always helping people out, so I'm always changing my configuration. I changed something. I'm not sure what it was. And now when I fired MMS TV up, it was keying the rig automatically. So, but I got it fixed. So good to hear Carol and everybody else on the net, N6YG. And, oh, Bill, N6HA as well.
All right, George, no harm done. I'm kind of stunned how you recognize this, but I can understand why. But anyway, my radio's done that before too. But anyway, enough of that. So there was commentary number one. We're going to go to Clay, K6SQY. We can also check to see if he got a reception and get a comment. Go ahead, Clay.
All right, this is Clay, K6SQY, and I actually received it better than YouTube. Less pixel pops and pretty clear image. It looks pretty good, actually. Yep, obviously we already know the backstory of this, but yep, looks like the cockpit of a sailboat, and I'm not sure where it is, but I see some land in the distance there, so I'm guessing maybe the bay, possibly. But yeah, it'll be fun to hear how it went, and thanks for including me.
I'm with you on that. Are there any other comments before I go to Chris for a description? All right, Chris. Chris is KI6HFP. Go ahead and tell us about your picture here.
All right, well, this is the shakedown cruise, as sailors like to call it, which is the very first time this boat has hit the water and went out for a sail since I purchased it. Me and my wife, I should say. So we picked this boat up, and it was sitting on the trailer for close to 2 months, so we decided it's now or never before Folsom dries up, so we got it out there. You can't see my dad in this picture. You can see my wife sitting at the front of the bow there. I showed her my favorite spot as a kid to sit on the boat when my dad would sail, and I took her up there, and she sat up there for quite a while. It's kind of hard to get her to come back because she enjoyed it so much, but that's about it. Yeah, it was just a good time getting it out. Was a little nervous, so we only used the mainsail on this trip, but I do have another picture of both of the sails fully deployed. And getting her nice and leaned over, and that's about it for the picture there.
All right. You know what? Thank you, Chris. You know, I didn't put that together that you're George's boy. I think I met you briefly at Field Day at the North Hills event over there at Davis Ranch. But that said, it's good to have you. And it's good to have George back. So that being said, George, this better be good because we haven't heard from you in a while. So if you're ready, you may fire when ready.
Well, I was just getting ready to change the picture I was going to send, but I guess I'll just go ahead and send this one. It's just something I found that's interesting. I've got another one as well. And interesting, why is the template not showing? Give me a second here. And that's the button I need to press. All right, let's see if I got a tone, N6YG.
you, George. That one came through pretty good on YouTube. I got a pretty good idea. I'm curious as what this antenna is going to be called, but I got a pretty good idea what the people are doing. But, you know, this is a pretty good crew we got tonight, a few more people, and we have not heard from Bob, N6PGQ, in a little bit. So he's going to get first comment on this one. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I discovered that my radio works a whole heck of a lot better when you have an antenna hooked up to it. But anyway, it looks like somebody's participating in a UHF contest. They have a nice mast hooked up to the vehicle there, a white van, and it looks like a 9-element antenna. And there's a tripod in the front that doesn't look like it has an antenna on it at all. And they're out in the field. Be interesting to know when this was taken. The car's a fairly recent car, so it's not a historic photo, but I wonder what contest this was and where the location was. N6PGQ.
Good observation. That antenna looks like a giant rake. Let's go to Carol and see what her views on it are. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, this is KP4MD. Yeah, that picture came through very solid and very clear. Maybe, I don't know, about 4 pixel pops I can see. I think I've seen this picture once before. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this was actually a military setup. Those are look like delta loops on a boom. So it's a directional antenna using delta loops as elements. That's what it looks like. And then there's the van there, and then there's another tripod in the foreground. If I'm not mistaken, this had something to do. I think it was something with the Cuba Missile Crisis. If I'm not mistaken, that George had mentioned something about this in the past. Back to Net Controls, KP4MD.
Thank you, Carol. You know, when I first saw it coming through, this is Bill, K6KRQ, I kind of thought it was one that George had sent before. He had sent like a military-ish one with a bizarre giant antenna, but I think this one is a different photo. But we're going to find out. Before I go to George, though, I want to see if there's any other comments or opinions on this photo. None heard, so let's take it back to George and hear about his picture. Go ahead, George.
Oh, yeah. I ran across this on one of the Facebook groups, and it's, I forgot the guy's call sign. I wish I remembered it. Yep, those are delta loops. It's a beam on 2 meters, and he's running Rover in Europe. So I'm very impressed with this setup. That takes some dedication. I would love to play with this antenna. I'd like to. This is a very, very, very impressive little setup. Delta loops are very quiet. I've never had one on VHF, so very interested in this setup. So that's about all I really have for this. I forgot the guy's call sign. I normally when I find these pictures, I'll save the call sign in the file name, but I was in such a rush that I forgot to do that, so I apologize. N6YG.
Thanks, George. Hey, is this one of those deals where one of these rovers runs around trying to provide contacts to people from various grid squares?
Yes.
Okay. One of the classes I took this year, like when I was getting my extra license, they talked a little bit about these rover activities. So it's kind of interesting. Some of the setups are quite elaborate, just like this one. So anyway, good picture. Like I said, it came through real good on YouTube. So that said, we are going to go to Clay now. Clay is K6SQY. If you're ready, Clay, you may fire when ready.
Okay, let me send a tone here. This is Clay, K6SQY. Let me know if you can hear the tone.
Good tone.
Okay, this should be PD-120. Here we go.
All right, very good. You know, I think I might know where this is, but I'm going to leave it up to the rest of you first. So, Bill, N6HA, we have not heard from in a few minutes either, so he's going to get first crack at this photo. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, a good photo. A lot of pops, but it's still very legible. Yeah, it looks like a Firewatch there, with a steep hill going up to it with a small, I think that's a small vehicle. It's hard to get scale. And the bottom of the hill, there's some kind of, I think it's a tree. I don't think they put a flagpole there. And then a shack to the left. So it's pretty neat. It looks a little overcast, so it's a good view from the sky. And I wonder how well the radio works up here at this elevation. Probably pretty good. So I don't know where it's at, but it's a neat photo. N6HA.
All right, very good, Bill. Thank you for that. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP. Go ahead.
Well, this photo makes me miss my Jeep Wrangler. I'll say that. I'm looking at these steep hills right off to the left and the one dead straight ahead where it almost looks like a propane tank sitting. Man, I'd be just playing around on those all day long, crawling up and down. That's about the only comment I have. I do agree that definitely looks like some type of lookout tower. It appears, based on how high it is compared to the surrounding trees, that's probably most likely what it is on top of a ridge line.
Any other comments before I go to Clay? Okay, none heard. This is Bill, K6KRQ, Wednesday evening, River City SSTV Net. You know what? I'm going to guess that this is that fire lookout. I think it's near Placerville. I think it's called Big Hill. I heard some guy transmitting 2 meters from there a couple weekends ago. But Let's see how close I am. Go ahead, Clay.
All right, this is Clay, K6STY, and it is a fire lookout, but it is actually on a mountain called Peg Leg Mountain, which is northeast of Chester, which is north of us here, and it's basically due east of Mount Lassen, so about halfway between Mount Lassen and Susanville, and it has a pretty commanding view of all of it. This is a CDF fire station, and when we went up there to go, we've been doing a tour and going to as many fire lookouts as we can find. And when we went up there, a young lady came out, and we were talking to her, and I asked her why the name of the mountain was Peg Leg Mountain, and she told me she had no idea. So the mystery is still there. It's unsolved. But yeah, and the pixel pops were not too bad, better than I expected. Yeah, the repeater, when you opened up the net there, I could barely hear you, and then it kind of got better, so I'm glad it did. All right, this is K6STY.
All right, very good. Thanks for that. These lookouts are kind of interesting. I think they're getting fewer and fewer with because of satellite technology. But I wonder if this Peg Leg Mountain's got anything to do with the lost gold of Peg Leg Smith. But that will bear some investigation. So that said, I have come to the end of our list. Got about 1 minute left before the top of the hour. I'm going to see if anybody has another picture or other burning desires. I think George had one, but anybody else got anything to send? I'm in no hurry.
Yep, I do.
All right, George, go ahead and send. All right, seeing as this is will be our last picture of the night, I'm going to go around the horn for a quick round table. You can just comment on the quality, if you recognize the people, or what have you, before we have George finish it up with his explanation. So I'll start at the top with Bob, N6PGQ. Go ahead, Bob. Final commentary and thoughts.
Quality's good, not too many pixel pops. couple of guys sitting there. It looks like the stern of a sailboat, because you can see the sail up in the right-hand corner. Nice, what looks like maybe a sunset in the background, unless it's smog. And no one's looking at the sunset. The guy on the left is looking at his cell phone. Oh well, sign of the times. N6PGQ.
Very good. Thanks, Bob. Carol, KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, I really don't have anything to add. Looks like a really beautiful picture right around, probably around sunset on a lake, perhaps. And somebody's enjoying their boat now. But very solid picture with only very few pixel pops. KP4MD.
Very good, Carol. Thank you. Bill, N6HA.
Yeah, it came over great. I just maybe a handful of pixel pops. Looks like a fun day on the sailboat. It's probably Chris's boat, and it's probably Chris there. I've never met you, but maybe that's you and your wife. And I bet George took this photo while you guys were out having fun boating. N6HA.
Very good. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP. Oh, you're the one who's in the picture, but you can. I think it's you. Go ahead and comment.
Yeah, this was another picture from the first outing. I remember this picture. I'm laughing because we found out real quickly that the electrical system needed some work for the lights, and my wife is on the phone checking how soon until the sunset goes down. So we're making haste back to port, as they would say. And so she was on her phone checking when the sun sets in Folsom. And yeah, that's me in the picture. Not much else to add. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if I'm able to send another one or not. That was the question I had. But that's all the commentary I have on the picture.
All right, stand by, and stand by. We'll come back. Clay, final thoughts and commentary on this picture.
It looks like a nice picture, and it looks like a happy couple, and they got themselves a nice toy. So I'm happy for them. I did not know you could sail on Folsom. My question for them is that very popular, or is sailing something that just a few people do there?
Thank you, Clay. That's a good question, and something that we'll have George address. So we're going to go to George for explanation. I guess that you were on board taking the picture, George, so tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, maiden voyage on this boat. And there was, you'll notice that I carefully placed the sun behind the barbecue to get this sunset picture. We were headed back to the marina because we realized we didn't have any navigation lights, so we were kind of stressing getting back into the marina before we ran out of light, or else we wouldn't have had any lighting on the boat. But that's fine. We had a flashlight. Would have been all right. So yes, and that's Christopher and Jenna on the boat. And I think Jenna is looking at pictures she's taken. So yeah, that's the story there. So, and I have a closing picture as well, N6YG. I'm sitting there looking at that little tang. There's a tang hanging off the back of the mast. You look at the boom. You look at the boom. There's a tang hand. That's for the topping lift. So anyhow, N6YG.
So George, Clay had asked if few people sail on Folsom Lake, or if it's a popular pursuit there.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I would say 90% of the boats at the marina are sailboats. So yeah, sailing is very common. In fact, they have a race course set up out there for J. I think it's J class. So they're sailing J-class and they're racing them out there. Took me a minute to figure out what those were. 55-gallon drums sitting out in the water. I forgot. It's funny. I brought my binoculars out 3 or 4 times when we went out working on the boat, and the one time we actually went out, I forgot them. So I couldn't. It's kind of disconcerting when you're out on the water and you're coming up to a buoy and you can't tell what it is. So you got to have those binoculars. So, but I finally figured it out. They were racing buoys. They have a race course set up out there.
That's interesting. I did not know that they did that. So, very good. Thanks for that. So anyway, it's after the hour. I'm sticking around. I don't want to keep anybody. I won't close the net until Chris and George send their next pictures. But anybody that has to be going, I won't be mad at you. But of course, we'd like to have you stick around. We also have another visitor. Oh, no, I had already recognized him. He made a comment, Ken March. I think I got my radio ready and have my PC up and ready, but I have no picture yet. I'll have to wait till next week to try checking in on the air next week. Very good. We will be here for you, Ken, so looking forward to it. So that said, Chris said he had a picture. We're going to go to Chris, and you may fire away when ready. Very good. That one came through pretty good. I'm not going to put anybody on the spot because it's getting kind of late. I'll just solicit any random comments anybody has. Anybody has a comment, they can chime in. I'll take first one. I guess it's the same boat. Looks like it's under sail. Looks like you got a jibe up this time, but I'll be interested in hearing about it. Any other comments? Come now. Okay, Chris, let's hear about this one. This looks like it might be earlier in the day, and yet guys are actually sailing around. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. This is probably my favorite picture. My wife took this one. This was our first time deploying the jib on this boat, and it's really hard to tell by the picture, but me and my dad were playing around with seeing how far we could get her leaned over And in this picture, like I said, it's hard to tell, but everybody was at this point holding on to something because the boat was leaning so far over, and we were having a blast. But we had a few extra people on board this go around, so once we started seeing everybody grabbing onto stuff and looks like they're leaning at a 45-degree angle, we decided to bring her back a little bit more normal. But I'm extremely grateful my wife snagged this picture. I was too busy having fun. I didn't think to go grab the phone, and she did. So this is probably my favorite picture. Other than that, that's pretty much the only comment I have on it.
All right, I can dig it. That is a good picture. Hey, man, is this like, how long ago were these taken? And are you guys pursuing the sailing pastime now, currently?
So this was taken, I believe it was a Saturday, this last Saturday, because we pulled the boat out on Saturday. The lake level was getting a little low, and I didn't want to risk having to pull it out during the week. But I've always had a passion for sailing. My dad sailed on and off for his whole life, and me and my wife have the goal of, in the next 6 years, start to circumnavigate the world on an ocean boat. So this is us just getting familiar with a boat for the first time, our own boat, getting used to controlling the sails and starting somewhere with some forgiveness on a lake instead of just heading out to the deep blue and hoping Mother Nature plays nice with us. We figured we'd take the tactical approach and do it the right way. So hoping the off-season's not too long and the lake starts filling up, because me and my wife are already chomping at the bit to get it back out on the water and sailing again.
I'm impressed. If you guys ever do attempt that endeavor, I will certainly be following closely. So thanks for that. George, got any comments on this? If not, go ahead and send your next picture.
Well, I don't really have a lot to add. I remember this was just taken. And the interesting note about this particular boat, it was designed by the same naval architect who designed the very last boat I had. And it's interesting because it's a mirror image, if that makes sense. Everything's 180 degrees reversed. The tables are on the other side, but you go down below, everything's identical to the boat I had. And Chris sailed on quite a bit when we were down in the bay and the delta. So yeah, this is, I think, the first time the jib was flown on this. Sometimes you have to kind of twist people's arms to do it because it's an intimidating. That's the power sail. The jib is the power sail. And it makes all the difference in the world. And so we got it deployed, and we were doing pretty good with it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, I started sailing, I think, when I was about 8 years old on sabots. If anybody knows what that is, it's a little tiny, not a keel boat, it's centerboard boat. And I started sailing about 8 years old. By the time I was 14, I was crewing on boats out of Long Beach and to Avalon Harbor and Catalina, and all those wealthy people with their 45 and 50-foot boats needing people to sail them for them. So lots of fun. Anyhow, back to Net, N6YG, and I do have the closing picture for the Net when you're ready, N6YG.
All right, very good and very interesting. I think I told you once that I regret that when I was in the Boy Scouts, they had a small boat sailing course, and I never took it. I regret that. Anyway, any more comments before I send it to George for a final picture?
Yeah, you are more than welcome to come out next season and hop on the boat with us and have some fun. And I'm sure my dad will be there. He can give you some lessons. And we're going to be starting a YouTube channel documenting our journey all the way from starting at the lake all the way to when we start cruising. So once we get that going, I'll go ahead and shoot that channel over to you so you can follow along.
N6PGQ.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I have a question and a request. First question is does this boat have a engine on the thing in case the winds don't blow? And the second one is, since my computer obviously is not connecting, if anybody has a Windows 10 computer and a Signal Link modem and is doing slow scan TV on it, I think I need to go back into the sound settings in Windows, and I'm a Mac person, so I need all the help I can get. N6PGQ.
I guess I'll pick that up, right, Chris?
Yep, go ahead. KI6HST for ID.
So this boat was designed for either an inboard, they put a little 4-cylinder inboard in it, or an outboard, and this is configured for an outboard, which I prefer on a boat this size. Inboards are just a pain. And yeah, you don't really need them out here. I mean, you can sail. I mean, I guess it's just because I've been around them so long. I sail in and out of the dock, so don't really need out, especially at Folsom, unless the wind completely dies. You can still get back. That's the neat thing about a sailboat. Your motor is the wind. You don't really need the motor unless you're not very good at sailing and you can't quite figure out how to get into the slip, or the slip is kind of positioned in a way where the wind doesn't work for you. But they're very clean. They'll drift for quite some time with very little movement. In fact, you can sail without the sails up. They call it sailing bare bones. With just the mast and the rigging, you get enough energy to move the boat. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Lots of fun. I absolutely love sailing. It's something I miss a lot. And when as far as physical exercise goes, it's actually very interesting. It actually helps you quite a bit. When I first went down with Chris and Jenna to the dock, I was actually very apprehensive of walking on the dock because, you know, I walk with a cane. I've had a back injury. And after a few days down there, all of a sudden I was starting to feel a lot better, and my balance was better, and so very much enjoyed it. So with that, back to Net, N6YG.
I'm going to say that's like the medicine you need to keep taking, then. Very good. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know about, this is Bill K6KRQ. I don't know what to tell Bob about his Windows settings. You did get a picture through, Bob, but I don't know what else to tell you. With my problem tonight is that I just wiped out my drivers. I'll reload them tomorrow, but I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, the picture worked because I used a different computer.
Okay, I see. I'm running like an Windows 11 machine.
I was going to say, if you're a Mac guy, you can go to Linux. MMSTV works perfectly fine on it, and you don't have to deal with all the hoopla that you got to do with Windows and their proprietary stuff. Everything just seems to work on Linux and Mac as well.
Yeah, that's not the problem. I want this one to work. It does all my other ham radio software stuff, so I do need a Windows computer since the people that write software are too lazy to write it for Linux and Mac.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not much more work to port the thing. You know, you could probably have AI do it or something in N6PGQ.
To be fair, I've seen how a lot of these Windows-based ham radio softwares operate. I don't think it'd be that hard to design one yourself and you'd be that far off. But yeah, no, I understand. I would recommend trying Windows 11 as much as I don't like it. I was on Windows 10 when I first started my journey back into ham radio, and I quickly updated to Windows 11, and I would safely say 90% of my issues went away.
Well, I'm not going to touch Windows 11. I hate all the updates and the control Microsoft's going to have with it. So 10's the last one, and I'll just keep it off the internet if they don't do any more patches.
Okay, well, I wish I had something more to say about that. I'm like you, Bob. I run all my ham stuff off this one box. I mean, this is what I brought with me last night. Even that's when my drivers disappeared. So I don't know. It looks like our YouTube feed went away. But if you got another picture, George, for the guys that are still, I can't get it because my drivers aren't here. But if you got another picture to send to the other guys, go ahead and fire.
Well, this is the closing picture.
All right, go. Okay, let me close the net then. Hold on. You'd think I've had this memorized by now, huh? So anyway, here it goes. All right, I want to thank all who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. I'm sorry my gear wasn't working, but we had a good showing tonight, good pictures, good discussion. This is one of our longest nets. I'm glad you all stuck around. We hope to see you again next Wednesday night, and that includes Ken, KF6 AGM, so we'll be looking forward to seeing you, and also Clay and Chris. And it was good to have George back. So, again, we'll hope to see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed. It's my world record longest one at 10:25 p.m. This is Bill K6 KRQ wishing all of you a good evening. 73.
Good job on the net tonight, Bill, by the way. And, yeah, I probably wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for Chris texting me and annoying me to get on here. I was outside barbecuing a lamb roast, so I managed to make it in here at the last moment. So here's the closing picture for the net, as tradition dictates, N6YG.
That's classic. I think that's the second foghorn leghorn one you got us. You know what? You know what? I don't think I've seen, or at least I don't remember, a Yosemite Sam. That's all, folks. Sell.
I love Yosemite Sam. I'm going to have to do that. You know, this picture is actually really funny for me because foghorn leghorn has got an axe head in his hand. And so that's really kind of funny because out of the last batch of chickens we raised, out of 15, actually it was a great batch because they all survived. There was only 3 roosters, and so my wife has been after me to sharpen the axe up so she can process them. And I was out there checking the axe out. I said, "This is pretty damn sharp, so I don't know what you need." But anyway, so I got to finish sharpening the axe up so we can barbecue some rooster. Another funny story. My grandson was over at the house, and we had a rooster over here who was kind of cantankerous. So we heard him screaming, and everybody goes running, and that damn rooster was chasing that poor boy across the yard. We had to save him. So Barb ended up processing him, and we're saving him in the freezer. So when he comes over, he can have the barbecued leg of the chicken the rooster that chased him.
That's kind of amusing.
Well, yeah, teach that rooster to chase my grandson. That's where you wind up.
That's where it all ends. Hey, George, have you been doing okay, or you just? I was worried that like your back had got you again.
No, I've just been real busy trying to catch up and get stuff taken care of, and it's just it's just life. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a big property like that. Did you get like some of the high weeds cut down and stuff?
I have been